Hey, Bayou people, what's up?
Mornings.
So when I was there the other day at the festival trying to do that thing, I go into StreamYard and StreamYard decides it wants to put my name up in the screen, like Kevin. And I'm like, why? I have used this platform for years and years and years, and I have never had my name clicked on since what we did in maybe the first 6 months before we decided to drop doing that. I was just like, what the hell? If anybody watching this, let me know if you got to check the screen out. It said we had 24 people watch over the 4 hours, T, which is kind of crazy.
24.
Yeah, sounded like garbage. All you could see was people's butts mostly, but we did it. So, and the guy seems like he's going to be a good partner for us going forward. Hopefully, we'll be doing this next year. Get some real equipment, kind of thing.
It was a good attempt at doing it. Like it was impressive to get it done and to try it and to do it on your own. So
got sunburned.
Yeah, it looked like it was a nice day.
And we were close to DC.
Yeah,
so there were a lot of party favors floating around. I ate a little mushrooms, and all of a sudden the day had this nice little glow to it.
Our good friends Stubbed Me Down were there doing some interviewing and filming too, which was cool.
Hung out with them a little bit, talked some shop. It's weird because Skinny and I know a lot of the same people from 30 years ago, but we never knew each other. So that's like a strange little thing. All right, let's jump into this. Funny. This is, oh my God, news of epic proportions here. Rush has announced the 50-something tour 2026. Some good quotes here about it. I'm looking at it. Are you a Rush fan? I didn't ask you that before we came on.
Yeah, I had a really good friend in growing up who was a humongous Rush fan. Like you would never expect it either from him. Like it was such a funny thing, but he friggin' loves Rush. Still to this day loves Rush. So yes, so because of that, like all of my like group of high school friends and everything were huge Rush fans and musicians, and so yes, you can't be a musician and not love Rush, and they're checking out technical use of things.
I've probably seen them 10 times.
Yeah,
every tour since 86 or 87, whichever the Big Windows tour, whichever that one was. But I mean, when they came around, it used to be when they came around, they were $20-$30, and you knew you were getting a show where even if they did a couple new tunes, you were getting 80% just bangers.
Right. And the impressive thing too is, I mean, they just kept releasing albums too through the years and through everything. So like they were one of those that I remember
some better than others.
Yeah, I remember when Presto came out was kind of like
that was solid.
And that was like their newest album into like the 90s at that time or whenever that was, and you were like, they still got it. They still got it.
And then there were some lower points, like Test for Echo. Was a tough one, but I mean, even their Vapor Trails, one of the last ones they did, was fantastic. So, artist pre-sale next Monday at 12. A City Card member pre-sale is this Friday at 12. General on sales the 17th, and it's Ticketmaster, so you're probably getting screwed.
Probably.
Really nice statements, though. Geddy Lee said it's been 10 years since Alex and I have performed the music of Rush. It's a lifetime's worth of songs that we've put our cumulative hearts and souls into writing, recording, and playing together, and we feel like, fuck it, we miss it. We need to get back out there. And we're going to do a celebration of 50-something years of Rush music. Neil
talking about that stuff, right? With like coming back or like playing back, and see, they kind of admitted it. Like we miss playing it. We miss playing these songs for people, and
we spent our life. That's the key thing for me. That is like since the 69 or whenever 70 they put out that first album, they have been, You know, it's a body of work there. Why not do it? And I think it's going to be 35 songs from the catalog. So you'll probably get like the melody with like 2112, the open kind of thing. And, you know, you'll get Tom Sawyer and all that, some of the later stuff. But the most interesting thing to me is they have retained a woman to be the drummer, to sit in with them. So
that's interesting. That's fun. That's cool.
Her name is Anika Niles, and she has what was the thing? Oh, she had a song "Wild Boy" that was a viral video a few years ago, and I think that's how her name got in front of the two of them. And they checked it out, and they were like, "She is the one." You know,
I was wondering if we would get like a Neil Peart son or cousin or relative or somebody. You know what I mean? Like how it's always like.
All right, another great quote from Ultimate Classic Rock. Rush's decision to reunite was influenced by their desire to celebrate 50 years of music and the encouragement of Paul McCartney.
The what?
The encouragement of Paul McCartney. Which is fascinating. Sir Paul, looking out for him. All right, we're going to stop sharing that.
I love it.
So anyway, I will probably not be going because I already know the tickets are going to be $150 minimum for the nosebleeds, probably. Nothing against Rush, but that's just after talking to Tommy and talking to other people, I've come to the conclusion that that's just the artist has to play the same game. And until Ticketmaster no longer exists or exists tied to Live Nation, we're going to have this issue. So,
right. Which, yeah.
There you go. Another fest we missed out on, man. Mempho Fest, and they had good artwork. They had like metallic bugs that had like a RCA for a tail and stuff like that. Interesting. Look at our thumbnail. It's a good one. So this was the 8th Mempho Fest, and it was at Radin's Amphitheater in Memphis Botanic Gardens. We had Widespread Panic played both nights, I guess, is the headline. And Kevin Kinney from Driving and Crying, who I've seen sit in with Mule a few times, came out and played with them a couple tunes. So bum 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 bum.
It's pretty impressive. I mean this festival is pretty new. I think since 2017, right? Yep. So it's not even 10 years old yet. But it's pretty cool. Widespread played Friday and Saturday night.
Right.
Yeah.
And then Tyler Childress.
And full shows, right? They played 2 sets, so it was like a full show. So it wasn't just a festival like Fish did. It was like it wasn't just a festival set, it was a festival 2 sets, which is always nice to get the full thing. But yeah, I mean, yeah, Panic is just it's great that it seems like a perfect place for them. It seems like a perfect festival for them, to be honest with you. So like it's awesome, and I heard good things about it. So yeah,
there's who we had. I mean, but look at that first night lineup might be, I mean, that's something so into. And the band Bloodkin, the songwriter for that, I'm totally missing his name off the top of my head, but Widespread does a couple Bloodkin tunes. Which is interesting. I guess they probably rolled out before Widespread came on, because he didn't come out and play with them. But
I wonder how Father John Misty was. I think Llama went and saw him last week sometime. I think the day that we put out the Taper's Choice microdose, he was going to see Father John Misty that night. For the second time. He said the first time he saw him, it was a little preachy. So I'm curious to hear how that was. But yeah, you're right. That first night is pretty solid, though. Panic, Galactic, Leftover Salmon. That's a fun night. Even night 2, though, with the Flaming Lips and Mavis Staples. That's fun, too. And Farside, that's pretty great.
I've seen the Flaming Lips. I saw them, I guess, at Bonnaroo once, and I didn't quite get it. Maybe I was too young because that was 2003 or something like that.
You might have not understood because there's such a fun show. There's so much going on besides just
right. Mavis Staples and Lucas Nelson. I mean, that makes it totally worth it. And then the last night, Tyler Childress is I don't know much about him, but apparently he's Sturgill kind of groove thing. He does the modern country rock kind of thing. The rest of those bands, I know Sierra Farrell and Charlie Crockett, but the lower names I did not know on the last day. So,
yeah. Totally, I love it. Though the lineup's great. Like for a small festival and a small lineup, that's pretty tight, right? Like that's kind of like what you're looking at as far as that goes. I don't know. It's kind of I really like the smaller lineup where you don't have all day, really. You know what I mean? Like it is all day, but it's only like 5 bands, so you're not like clamoring to be like, oh, we got to go from here to here and get over here and go over here. Like there's 10, like it's an all day 4-stage thing we're running around. So that's cool. Really cool.
Right. Now, did we? I don't remember if we touched on this, but Ciro Baptista is having a 75th birthday celebration at Lincoln Center on November 7th and 8th. And on the 7th, Trey Anastasio is slated to perform. And on the 8th, Cassandra Wilson is to be featured. So they're going to have Hanson Hockmoan on Sinatier and other musicians who've been part of Baptista's journey, making for a diverse, global influenced ensemble. I'm excited for this. He has played with so many people. Like he's played with Paul Simon and Yo-Yo Ma and John Zorn. He's just, I think it's going to be fantastic. And I don't know how much of his own music he's ever written. Like when Trey comes out, they'll probably do Cayman Review or, something that features, what's the song that features him? Pigtail, maybe? Doesn't he play like the bottle caps during Pigtail? But I'm excited for that. Jazz at Lincoln Center. And it's crazy because when you say, oh, jazz, current jazz living legends, he probably wouldn't pop to the top of your head. But
right.
So much more than a percussionist. So many jam bands. Like I think String Cheese Incident had another bongo player come out, or they may have had another person join the band. I couldn't quite figure out what these posts were about.
Is he playing the rain stick?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, sometimes, it's like Humphreys. I love what Humphreys does, but sometimes I'm like, do they need the extra percussion?
Yeah.
It's like Goose. Did Goose really miss a step when Jeff left? They had to rearrange a few things, but
right. No, they didn't. So, yeah.
I don't know. And it got me thinking last night about Fish and how they never came up in any conversation ever to had another percussionist after that guy Mark Dolfer, I guess, played 3 or 4 times back in 83, 84 with them at some point. I guess it's the Almonds thing. It all started with the Almonds having 3 drummers. The Grateful Dead had 2. The Eagles had 2. The Allman Brothers were like, we need 3.
We need 3.
1 for each ear and an extra to stick up your nose.
Exactly.
Oh, man. So Christmas Jam.
Christmas Jam
was canceled last year, but it's happening this year.
Yep.
So, the exact dates and lineup have not been released, but Relics has leaked that it's going to happen. Are we allowed to leak anything?
December 13th is the date.
Okay. There we go.
Saturday, December 13th. So like the weekend before the weekend of Christmas. Like Christmas falls on a Thursday this year. It's like Wednesday the 24th and the 25th is on a Thursday. So this is the second weekend in December. Let's just say that the first weekend is the 6th.
12
the second
days
weekend
before
is the 13th.
Christmas, right? Instead of
5
days before.
Right. And so then, it's the 6th, the 13th, and the 20th are the 3 Saturdays before Christmas. This falls on the 13th. So it's the second weekend in December.
Man,
There's a good chance that maybe there's going to be some streaming of this happening on our favorite place, Volume, and you may see us there doing some stuff. So we'll
see some famous faces doing some
That's
interviews, hanging out.
That's right.
Have laptop, will travel.
That's right.
Very excited for this, though. We have been offered an opportunity to maybe be part of Volume's coverage of it in some way, and I think that's probably part of why Volume brought us on. They needed a face that was competent speaking about all music, at these kind of things. So.
I don't know about competent, but speaking about music, we got that covered.
We know enough between me and you. I think we could hold our own with anyone.
It's cool though. It's raising funds for Habitat for Humanity, which is a great cause, and beloved Asheville, and support local businesses and things like that. So it's pretty cool. Christmas Jam's back. It was successful in 22 and 23. Just the hurricane from last year forced them to cancel it and not do it. So,
give them that money to Habitat for Humanity.
Yep.
So,
and that's why they did. They kind of replaced it. I don't want to say replace it, but that hurricane is what led to the Soul Shine benefit at MSG. Right, when they had Goose and Nathaniel Raycliffe and Dave and Derek Trucks.
When Rick from Goose got to play with Dave Matthews for the first time.
Right.
It's exciting.
It's exciting.
Jimmy Kimmel is back and he's doing big things. He had Bruce Springsteen come on and Jeremy Allen White last week on the 2nd to talk about the Springsteen film.
Well, what's interesting too is he's not just back, but he took his show on the road and went to New York from his LA studios and went to New York, and that's part of the reason. Obviously, he had Bruce and Jeremy on because obviously Bruce is the Jersey guy. So that was cool. That made sense. That was a lot of fun, and with the movie coming out, it's not getting the greatest reviews. So maybe if you're really excited and hopeful of this one, temper your expectations a little bit, I think. But we'll see. I just saw a trailer for a Hugh Jackman and what's her name? Goldie Hawn's daughter, from Almost Famous, drawing a total blank. Who's married to Chris Robinson for a while. Not anymore though. Anyway, I just saw a trailer that they're doing like a Neil Diamond biopic, I think, next year that's coming out. I don't know, later this year, Christmas or next year. I was like, wait, they did Neil Diamond. All the biopics, man. I don't know. Like, it's so hard. Like, you want them like the Bob Marley one, but then they don't do great. Or there's like, it's it's hard because you want to see the story. You want to hear the music. You want them to tell the story of your favorite artist or of a great artist, but then the performance can fall flat or the story's not quite there or something. So I don't know if they're some are great, some are bad, some are whatever.
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan because most of them seem like 90-minute, 120-minute commercials for the artist to buy product.
Well, it depends on how it's done, right? I mean, I feel like the Dylan one that was just done with Chalamet was really good. And because it didn't cover a whole, you know what I mean? You pick a segment of their life and you tell especially like that story.
Or a Dylan, right? Yeah.
Right. Because it's so massive, you can't get too into the whole thing sometimes in 2 hours, and you don't want to because you're missing things then. So if you focus on a certain area of the life or a certain part of it, then okay. But I don't know. We still have the Jerry one that's being made with Scorsese, and we'll see. I don't know. I don't know. I'm interested in them. I always like seeing them, but again, when they fall flat, you're kind of like, that was a bummer. So we'll see. Bruce has signed off on this though and given his endorsement and is obviously thrilled about it with Jeremy. And Jeremy's a great actor. We'll see.
He's out doing the press, so
they're doing the press. That's building it up. This film does just follow like Springsteen during the creation of Nebraska. So I think it is like, kind of that segment of his life. It's not like the whole,
right,
his life. So it is sort of just talking about sort of that thing. And he does have, to your point, Kev, it does seem like there is an October 17th release of Nebraska Expanded Edition, the album. So
Yes.
there is a little bit of like, oh, perfect timing to have this, and you know what I mean? So yeah, there's a little bit of that in there for sure.
Some interesting stuff. There's like a version of Born in the USA that was done around this time, and he hadn't quite figured it out. And even though the version that came out's a little cheesy with the electric drum, the sound of it, that whole album was weird with the keyboards and drums, just the way they did the production of it. Dancing in the Dark is, you just want to go like, but some really interesting stuff when you hear these others, and that he had written it all already. That these songs like all existed, and it took years before they appeared afterwards.
Yeah.
Some of them. Obviously, the Nebraska album came out. Jeremy Allen White is the guy from The Bear. That's where I know him from, right?
Right. Yes. And before that, he was on the Showtime show. I can't remember right now. Drawing a blank on names this morning. But yeah, where he originally got his start was on that Showtime show with Emmy Rossum and stuff where they were the family, that sort of crazy, just whatever family. So yeah, that's where he got started. And then The Bear is blowing him up. So I mean, he's a good pick for it. He's got that Bruce look to him. I think you can make him into that, which helps. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how it does and see what people think and how the reviews, if they get better once it gets released.
I'm with you. All right. Let's move on to Nirvana. I have heard about this guy suing Nirvana, Spencer Eldon, before. He is the infant who appeared on the cover of Nevermind. He says that it's pornography. So he filed a lawsuit in 2021 because the statute of limitations had passed. In 2023, a federal appeals court revived parts of the case. And the other day, I guess, Judge Ferdinando Olgan dismissed the suit, ruling that the album cover does not meet the legal definitions of pornography. The judge held that for an image to be considered child pornography, nudity must be paired with lascivious or sexually provocative elements, which he found are absent in this case. He said he compared the cover of the album to a family photo of a nude child bathing.
Exactly. And between that and the fact that this dude has also sold autographed memorabilia, promoting himself as the Nirvana baby, signing that cover and doing things with it, his claim of serious damages seems to fall a little on deaf ears here, because you're like, well, you've been making money off of it and not protesting it for all these years. And now all of a sudden you're like, oh, you know what I could do in the state of everything right now? I could sue them for child pornography. You're like, bro, come on, man. First of all, like, it's one of those things where, yes, the 90s were a different time. You know what I mean? Like, if you go back and watch some of the cringy things that were happening back then and like just overall, sure. But this leads itself to such like what you like to say, like a punk rock feeling album cover, like especially of the time. It was a little shock value, it made no sense with the title, like Nevermind, and it's a baby swimming after a doll. You're like, what? Where's the correlation? So it's just one of those things. And I think to come out all these years later and do this, you're just like, bro, it's art. It's been out for 30 years at this point. You've made money off of it. Fuck off.
Right, exactly. So, and it was shock in the beginning, but really it's become a cultural touchstone.
Exactly. Almost. That's what I mean. It's now become like a piece of art. Like even when it was taken, it was art from the photo and the thing of that. But to this day, now it's become a famous thing. Like it's one of the most recognizable instantaneous album covers you'll ever see. Like anybody that grew up in even after that, which
Dark Side, that, I mean, there are certain albums that,
I mean, people today, we talk about that a lot, how music is lost today. A lot of things, a lot of music that we used to listen to, even because it doesn't feel like the classics of the class of the night, that era of trance. But everybody's seen the Nirvana cover. I mean, even kids these days know the Nirvana cover out. So, I mean, it's such a legendary thing that I think his whole thing was, it's so big and it's such a part of this. I can make a name for myself
They
by
gave my
suing them.
parents $50 for the picture or something.
Right. I can get more money out of this. Even if it gets tossed out, maybe they'll settle out of court with me. We're such a sue happy society. It's just insane.
Right.
So,
right.
moving on.
Did you get it settled?
What?
All right. I was talking to my mom.
Oh.
She was trying to figure something out. And also one last thing on this. It sets a precedent. So people can't go back and say, oh, Michelangelo and David, that's pornography. You know, you can't go back and
or anything like that. Anything like that. Oh, this album cover from the 60s that's depicting like this naked lady on it or what, you know, like what was the Blind Faith one with the girl holding the
plane? Yeah, that's more, you know, the topless little girl. Yeah.
Right.
The inside of Electric Ladyland had all those
right.
naked chicks.
Right.
Know?
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, it is I mean, you know, I don't know. There's so many. It's crazy. Have you ever heard of a woman named Lola Young?
I have, but I'm not very familiar with her.
Right. Well, she canceled apparently all her concerts. She's canceled all upcoming shows. Apparently in September, she was performing the All Things Go Festival in New York. She collapsed on stage.
At Forest Hills, yeah.
Yeah, Forest Hills. Yeah, she said, I'm going away for a while. I have to cancel everything for the foreseeable future. Obviously, you'll get a refund. I really hope you'll give me a second chance once I've had some time to work on myself and come back stronger. It sounds to me another mental health thing like we had with our man for Maggie. You know?
And she's opened up over the years. She's had health struggles. She's ADHD, schizophrenia, affective disorder, a rehab stay for cocaine in 2024. She's had a few issues and a rough go at things. And I know puked on the stage at Coachella. I think she chalked that up to nerves, but you know, who knows? Mm-hmm. It's sad, but good for her for taking the steps to get healthy and realizing she needs to take a step back. I think passing out on stage is scary. That would definitely lead me to be like, I need to probably focus on what's going on in my head in my life, but good for her for taking a step back. I hope she gets the help she needs and comes back stronger than ever. Cause it's always a shame when somebody with talent like that has to deal with their demons and deal with things outside of that doesn't let them do what makes them happy and creative and put that out into the world. So,
and there's so many people who didn't, when you think back, I mean, probably hundreds of stories we've never heard of, but like somebody like Karen Carpenter, who they forced to be up front and perform, took her from behind the drums. She ended up being anorexic and ended up killing her. You know, there's
look at Judy Garland. Look what they did to Judy Garland and stuff. Like, I mean,
chew you up, spit you out.
Yeah, it's the industry, it's the machine, it's, you know what I mean, and it happens to the best of them. Look at like Marilyn and things who the side effects of it like cause you to like, I can't sleep at night, I need pills, you know what I mean? Right down to like Heath Ledger and stuff. Like it's a tough business. It's a tough go.
Yeah, Heath Ledger still kind of hits me hard because just he went into madness to become the Joker, and he is the best Joker. I'm sorry, I know other people say other things, but.
Well, it's the best portrayal of the Joker by far, for sure, what he did with that role. But look at the cost, the toll it took on him to do it. And, you know, it's like the gymnast, too. What's her name? Simone
Biles. Yeah.
Biles. Yeah. Who had to take a step back and got so raged on by the right and people for doing it. And you're like, are you kidding me? Like, how do you not respect somebody? It's funny because, you know, we'll drop back into the 90s here for a second, and things were such a mess back then. Fun. I don't mean it like mess, but we didn't know things like that. Like I told my mom the other night at dinner, I was like, I wish we had known when I was growing up that I probably had like ADHD or needed to go on something to keep, because I have the attention span of a squirrel. Like I always have. Like that's why I don't do good in school, because I'm just constantly like, this is boring me now, on to the next. This is boring me now, on to the next. So like back then it was just like, he's just a kid like that. Like that's just his imagination and the way he is. He's more artsy than this or math, math doesn't just agree. But we didn't know. So the same thing with mental health. Like it's never been like a sickness or like a problem where you're like, oh, I need a mental health day, or, oh, I need to take some time for myself. People would just call you a pussy and be like, sack it up. Like, let's go. Stop fucking, be stronger. But it is an issue and it's tough. And when you're in any business, like let's not just say show business, but any business it affects you in, anything that you have, anything it can affect you in. So
right, you're just so much more public facing when you're an artist out there.
Right.
I mean,
And it's not
especially a musician, as opposed to like a writer might never leave their house. You might not ever know what they go through as long as the next book showed up. You know,
but I think it's important for these people to be the ones that come out and do it, because then it gives validation to those of us that don't have these in the spotlight jobs or things that might not be feeling like I'm going through this, but I should just suck it up and continue, you know. But then you see somebody like this, you're like, oh, wait a minute. This star, this artist, this person, this celebrity has the same kind of feelings or emotions or problems that I do. Okay, maybe I'm not that different, and maybe I should go see somebody about it, or maybe I should look into helping myself.
Who was not Selena Gomez, but the other girl from back then? Demi something was her name?
Demi Lovato.
Yes, she went through the whole thing about her health issues and eating problems, and she came out and, you know, she seems a lot happier and healthier now. That
a lot, yes. And in fact, they're doing I don't even know the name of it. I heard it on the Disney thing the other day, but they're revitalizing some camp show with the Jonas Brothers, and they're coming back and redoing their part. But she was in it with them, and she's decided not to do it, but she is going to be a producer on it, which I think is cool. Like, she found her other, you know, she's like, I don't want to come back and be on it and do that, but I will produce and I will be in backstage. So that's great. I mean, that's a good step.
My kids.
There you go. Well, it's coming back. They're doing another one and they released the whole plot and everything. And I was like, I do not know what this is, but cool. And they mentioned her, and I was like, oh, good for her, because I hadn't heard her a lot. It's funny you mentioned her because I haven't heard her coming back. Huh?
Is Selena coming back?
I don't know. They didn't mention that.
Right. Yeah, it was a movie. It was made for Disney. It was back when there was the shows were Jonas Brothers, Wizards of Waverly Place, Sunny on the Side, or something Sunny. There was some show that had Sunny in the name of it. Anyway, let's move on to Spotify, because we're all cheering for Spotify to collapse, and their shares fell 6.6% because Daniel Ick, whatever his name is, said that he was leaving, but also Goldman Sachs downgraded them from buy to neutral. So you're like, yes, oh my God, yes. But when you look deeper, they think revenue is going to grow in the mid-teens for the next 3 to 4 years. Advertising is going to pick up more strongly. So,
and it's still 55% higher this year, despite being 11% off its all-time high. So it's still just disgusting. Like, I'm sorry, you look at the numbers it's making and the execs at that are making, and then you look at what the artists are making, and you're just like,
who can't even get a ham sandwich? Damn,
yeah, man. It's such a mess. So the only way things change is by us boycotting or us not doing it, but it doesn't seem like that will ever happen because people need their playlists. So what are you gonna
do? Yeah. All artists should have a whole pile of ham sandwiches. So Taylor Swift dropped her album. I couldn't get any numbers yet because it just dropped the other day on the album itself, but she also had the movie come out, right? The release party of Showgirls earned $33 million domestically on its single weekend run. Another $13 million, so $46 million globally. First 24 hours of ticket sales alone racked up 15 million. Now, is 33 million good? I know you look at the box office numbers all the time. Is that good for what this was?
Yeah, I mean, considering it was just sort of a weekend run, you know, and wasn't really anything and what it is. So, and it's not a concert film or a documentary. It's sort of like a promotional event. So it's hard.
It's an ad.
Right. It's like a long commercial. It's more of her like making money off of her fans being like, I have to see it's, you know what I mean? She has the Beanie Baby mentality of like, everybody needs every piece of collection or see everything she puts out because it's her. And so, I mean, in a way, yes, it's successful. 33 million is nothing to shake a fist at. I mean, movies don't even do that in some of their opening weekends. So
over 3,700
overseas.
Theaters.
So
over 3,700 theaters, which is brilliant. Hello, Dead & Company with Let's Do IMAX, and it doesn't even work in half the theaters.
I will say too, I don't know if we want to get into it, but the album is terrible. Like, I'm not a hater by any means. I like her. I like what she does. She's an artist in the true sense that she writes her own music and everything, and that's fantastic.
Even if it
to
is
me.
about what's his name's penis.
Well, so here's the thing, though. The album, I think, of all of her albums, or what I know of them, is the least artistic, so to speak. Like, some of the lyrics are so bad and so cringe, and I feel like, as an artist, and you will probably agree with me,
We say this about Trey Anastasia too, so don't get mad.
Right. No, and I was gonna say, if we bitch about Trey's lyrics and things, it would be awful of me not to bitch about some of these lyrics. Like, I was in the car listening and I was just like, what is this? Like, I thought she was a songwriter. Like, this is some bullshit. But
Capitalizing. Well, you know what? It is so much harder to write a song when you're happy and in love.
That's exactly what I was. That's exactly what I was just going to say, though. That was what I was leading to. Is like, as an artist, and you would probably agree with me with writing, is when you're happy, the shit is so much lamer than when you're going through it. Like, when you're going through pain and suffering and hurt, shit comes out of you that more people can relate to, because people relate so much more to anger and pain and suffering than they do to happiness and joy and feeling of that. Like, in music, yes, you want to have shiny, happy, wonderful music and the upbeat tempos and things like that. But a lot of times the success comes from going through the bad parts to write that. So I will say this, I really look forward to her divorce breakup album, because that thing is going to probably be the greatest album ever.
All the dirt.
I mean, it'll be fantastic.
Right. A lot of her best lyrics, there's venom. There's so much venom.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. And you can even write sort of a happy song about that. Like, look at Carly Simon's, I bet you think this song is about you. Like, it's such a shot in the pants, but it's also hilarious and like upbeat and fun to like sing along to. So I'll just say that I don't want to get a lot of hate for it, but my personal opinion and takeaway is like, the album is not good. You're not even to that point. You're not hearing a lot of people defending it, and B, coming out loving it. Like, I've never seen such a mellow reception for one of her things either. And the media blitz, like, she's on everything right now. So like,
leading up to it, I mean, I was on Twitter the other night, and like an hour before, people were just on fire. I mean, on Blue Sky, people were just on fire.
I mean, I don't know.
And then afterwards, people are like, oh, there's a song. The thing I saw the most comments about were the song Wood. And lying about her spreading her thighs or something like that. It was,
and her commenting about having to sing that to her mom or something and changing it or something so it didn't sound as sexual or something.
And her mom her mom thought it was about being superstitious.
Yeah.
Song. Okay, Mom.
And I mean, she's gonna make $1 billion and she'll do her thing, and so. But you know what? And the fact that she sued like Olivia Rodrigo over songs that sound like hers or whatever. This album has 2 songs, Kev, that are blatant ripoffs. Like, I mean, they could easily turn around and sue her. One is, it sounds just like Beverly Hills from Weezer. The beat is exactly Beverly Hills from Weezer. And the other is this older Jonas Brothers songs that you probably wouldn't even know if somebody didn't play it for you, but they were doing it on the radio and they played the 2 together. And I was like, holy crap. The guy's like, whereas the Weezer one, you could probably say is like a 9 out of 10 closeness. This one's like a 9.7 out of 10 closeness to it. So you're like, there's a lot wrong with it. I'm sure
she'll be adding the writing
fans
credit.
will love it. And, look, we're critical when Fish comes out with albums. So I'm not saying that we're not critical of things, and we love things when things are good. I'm not a fan of this album. I think
I'm happy for all her people that they got something, that they got to experience that, because we really don't I'm not young anymore, and there isn't an artist like that,
yeah. And I mean, the tour, I'm sure, will be fun, and like, people will be
she
whatever.
Said she's not touring. She said she's not going to tour behind it.
Oh, good. Because she just did a fucking world tour for what, like 2 years?
No, we're sucking all the money up. Let some of these festivals and other bands get a little something.
Well, I mean, she did just have a crazy world tour that lasted forever. So
she's going to be planning her wedding for the next year.
Good for her.
Good for her. So there's a company called Anthropic. and they have an AI model called Claude. And this AI model used pirated books from Library Genesis, Pirate Library, Mirror, and other things to train their AI model. They have reached a settlement in a class action lawsuit for $1.5 billion to be paid out. And there is a claims portal now online, if you Google it, Bart's versus Anthropic, where if you're an author and one of your books was pirated and used to train this, you can get a little per book compensation.
Good.
But my thing with this is that's the story. We don't do books that much unless it's a musician or a music book. But what happens with the AI models like Sonos that were trained using YouTube unauthorized or things like that? Is there more lawsuits open? Is this the first chink in the armor of AI?
There better be
stuff for free.
Yeah, there better be, because it's the same thing as that actress thing. I don't know if you've seen that, but there's this AI actress that a company created that they're trying to get signed by a legitimate management company like CAA or something, saying she's legit. But then when you dig into it, they trained her and built her on watching movies and other performances and things. So she is a conglomeration of other people's work, right? So you can't. There's a whole, there's a whole human aspect that, yes, as a human, you learn things in memory and want to inspire and copy and do things like that. But you have limitations as a person, as a series of ones and zeros and things like that. You pick this up and then you're still created by somebody creating you. So I don't know. I don't. Yes, they should be sued into oblivion if you're using everyone else to build your model from. And then it's basically like stealing your work to create my work. That's not real. I don't know. It's so hard. And yes, it's going to be ugly. Like the whole AI thing is just, it's going to be so hard to control, because it already is. Like people already.
Oh, I'm already double looking when I'm looking for a picture to use like as a background for a thumbnail. I'm already having to double look to make sure it's not some AI generated thing.
And Kev, you go on the bad site over there still and check out X, and every single comment to somebody's thing is asking Grok if it's real, or like, Grok, is this true? Grok, is this real? Grok, what do you think about this? So like people can't even Google things themselves anymore or look things up they just have to instantly ask AI. And we're so far away from those days of looking things up in a book or an encyclopedia or any of that is gone. So
right. Facebook is even worse than Twitter with that, because you can't ask Grok. It's just there. Paul McCartney playing at Charlie Kirk's memorial.
Right. Right. And there's no censor, you know what I mean? At least sometimes X has the community notes on it, and will say like, this isn't true, or this has been proven not true.
Meta got rid of that.
That,
we don't need that.
Yeah, there's no guardrails of that on other sites and the AI stuff. And kids these days with AI, I mean, you use it for everything. You look up things, you use it to tell. I don't know. It's good for some things. Yes, it's terrible.
You know what teachers are doing now? Professors in college now. They've gone back to, you show up to class, they're like, get out a piece of paper and a pencil.
Good. Good.
I'm like, yes.
Because I've always, I don't know. I have a real problem. I told you I was terrible in school because of I have the attention span of a squirrel. So anything that would help me, I would totally lean into AI and cheat my ass off to get through. But it's getting through so you can get through and get the grade.
So when the AI,
it's not learning, it's just getting by. And that's the problem, is we're going to have a whole generation of people who've gotten by and haven't learned anything. And we're screwed.
Exactly. Yeah. And the problem, I guess, one of the other biggest issues with it is, though, kids don't double check the AI.
Never.
Or even say to the AI, can you double check that? Because
Never.
It doesn't seem like Mickey Mouse was king of England in the 1400s.
Right. They don't bat an eye. They think if it spits it out, it's true. It's like Wikipedia on steroids. You just think that this is real and that's the way it is. And it's not.
Right. Elon wants to make a Wikipedia for the truth. He's saying that's going to tell the truth.
Yeah, his truth. Like, again, what is the truth? Like, he keeps the guy for free speech who then limits everything, and it's such bullshit. Like,
free speech for thou. Free speech for me, not for thou.
Well, and the other thing is, these guys who create them, you can create the AI bot to have certain limitations or to tell things that aren't true and create it and make it say what you want it to say. It's almost like the real fake news or the real fake, because then you can just misinform people and be like, oh, well, AI told me this was happening and this is real and blah, blah, blah. And what do you mean vaccines really don't work and this shit? And you're like, oh my God, like we're all screwed.
We're all screwed, exactly. All right, so let's see what else we got. One more thing. We got it's an article that was about what was it called? A look at the real impact of Oasis and Black Sabbath mega tours on streaming. So Oasis did their tour. Their Spotify streams surged to 320% globally. Wonderwall and Don't Look Back in Anger experienced 40 million additional streams than they normally got in 1 month.
Impressive. I will tell you that I feel like this is kind of true with everything, right? When something happens, there's a huge spike. I was looking at Google Trends the other day, and apparently the Charlie Kirk stuff is like bottomed out. Like it was so huge for so long, and now it's moved on, and like it's not even getting any traction on Google anymore. So it's just we're very much a society of now and then moving on. So it doesn't surprise me because also on that note, out here in LA, when Oasis was finally hitting out the Rose Bowl for that weekend, the week leading up to it, all the radio stations, I can't even tell you how much Oasis was being played on the radio station and all the contests they were doing for concert tickets and stuff. And now that it's over, there's like no Oasis on the radio anymore. And now they've moved on to Taylor Swift. And it's like Kiss FM is called Swift FM right now because of Taylor Swift and like things like that. So it's very much like what's in the moment. What can we do? What's happening now? And I think that plays into like the streaming thing. Cause you're like, oh, I'm going to the show or this is popular right now. Let me get up to tune with their songs and their stuff and all of that. The thing I was excited about reading this was when I first saw it, I was like, streaming, you mean like live streaming the shows? Like this is like becoming more of a thing. Like, oh boy, like, yes. Why wouldn't you want to stream an Oasis show at home and watch it like live? That would be fantastic. Like that should be like, but no, it was about like Spotify streaming and shit like.
Well, you could have watched the Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
That one very well. 5 million viewers via live stream. That's a huge number. That's huge. Number. I've often wondered what the back end of Nugs looks like, or the back end of Live Fish. How many viewers do they get paying for a live stream? Because there's a lot of leakage. There's a lot of graft going on and grifting and whatever you want to call it on the side. But I mean,
which probably though doesn't even really. I mean, I guess yes. If
it has to pay for the crew, it at least has to pay for the crew and put a little money in their pockets.
Right. And I mean, I can see why at some points you'd want to crack down on that, but I feel like until it really started like cutting in on your revenues, you would sort of just let it go for a while, because as the prices keep going up I mean, I'd be curious to know how much they make off of that, because I mean, there are people that sign up for every show or for a tour, and it's friggin' expensive, man. Like even that's expensive. Right. Even couch touring is expensive.
Right. And other bands, like you put a band like Space Bacon just popped in my head. I know they've had a few shows on Nugs, I believe. How does that work? When does Nugs approach you? I guess we should have asked Brad this. Did they approach the artist? I mean, did the artist have to pay in order to be on Nugs? Because that's a possibility that I guess some people might not ever even think about. Or does Nugs just get a percentage? If someone, let's say they have all that, they have, right, the one thing is you can kind of just watch whatever. Some stuff you have to pay extra for. This tells you that I haven't been on Nugs in a long time.
Right.
That you pay extra for some stuff, but normally there's a pool, like Spotify works. So if
Right.
there's 100,000 people that pay $10 a month, that $1 million is split between the views per band, I guess. With whatever cut Nugs takes off the top, 40% or something.
Right. I would assume, but I don't know how you, like, if you went to them and you're like, hey, we want you to stream our shows from now on,
Right.
like what that cost incurs. Because I mean, we kind of are going through this with Volume and finding out sort of how that works, because it's like, well, do you have to hire an outside crew? Because like Brad told us, is Nugs doesn't do any of the filming. They don't have
Right.
production.
So they have
don't
to pay
do
the outside crew.
They're
Right.
just a site that puts it up. So if you want to do that, you have to hire, somebody has to hire the production crew and the cameras to come out and film the show.
And that's why some bands only have 1 or 2 shows up, because they can't afford to do it.
Right. Right. And Nugs isn't footing that bill either. Nugs isn't
Right.
like, oh, let us outfit you with like this production crew and film your thing because we'll make so much money off of it. Unless it's a big event like the Relics thing or something like that. I'm sure they pony in for or help out with. But for the most part, I don't know who's paying that production crew and hiring that production crew to come in and film it, because that's another cost on top of the band having to sign up to Nugs or whatever. And then you're hoping once it's on Nugs, how much do you think there's a rewatch value to things is my question. Because you're one who refuses to re-listen to a show altogether.
Right.
So I don't see you even going back and watching a show ever. And me, it's kind of like live sports. It's like, if I really want to watch that game and I've missed it, I will come home and watch it, but I'll fast forward through the boring parts and the commercials and like all of that shit and get to the meat of what I want to watch. With a show, yes, sometimes I go back and watch and I'll put on the TV like, Dead 50 or like something like that and watch it as it's playing in the house while I'm doing chores or whatever. So that I get, but you're not going back and watching a tour. And you're not going back into Live Fish. Like sometimes it would be nice if you could go back and watch some of the shows, like the Tweezer show. You're like, oh, I want to go back and watch that show and see. There's this great part where Trey does this thing. I want to see it with the lights or whatever, and I get that. But you're not watching the tour.
Well, so, I what it made me think of. We'll go with Space Bacon again. We did the story the other day about them doing Tom Sawyer with the woman who came out and sang with him. I went and found that and watched it, but no, I did not watch the whole show, but I wanted to see that highlight. And I could see if I was on Nugs skipping through shows like you're saying and catching, oh, I heard this was really good. Let me spend this half hour here. And then.
But I think that's a really good point, Kev, because you could just go to YouTube or Google search and be like, Space Bacon playing this, certain song, and then it comes up on YouTube. And granted, you're probably watching fan shot things for the most part until somebody rips it and puts it on there. But even then, you're still getting, it's almost better sometimes because you're getting the fan cam in the crowd and people cheering and like, you know what I mean? And so there's that too, which probably pulls away from it. So it's an interesting,
and so much music and so much audio is just MP3 compressed anyway these days. Yeah. I'm just used to listening to it anyway. Title, I go on, I had somebody playing Title and they're like, can't you hear the difference in the sound? And I'm like, not really.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm old.
I think the thing to do too is I think festivals work best for streaming, right? Because a lot of times you can't get to the festival and you want to watch a certain band at a certain time at the festival or a certain part of the festival. That's where I think streaming has a really high value for things and a replay value, because you might go back and watch a festival set or watch the whole weekend or a Saturday of a festival because you wanted to see some things. I mean, I do that often with the Coachella streams and the Lala streams and stuff. I'll watch later and stuff because that there is a replay value to for a certain amount of time, but even then you can YouTube and be like, oh, I want to see Chapel Roan's set, and you can just YouTube it and watch it off of there and stuff. So, I think the interesting thing though is, again, going back to our boys at Volume, how they have it set up and how it's sort of a venue.
That's what Fractal was saying.
Right. Yeah, exactly what you're saying. I see venues on Nugs, and that way you might see someone new that could come through.
And
that's
Volume does that. Right, because I would go to Nectar's when Nectar's was open, and it was like Cotter's band on Tuesday nights,
Exactly, and here on Volume, you have that option. Like the Bitter End pretty much has a show almost every night you can stream from, and you can catch those like local bands. And that's why I like that setup a lot, because they're in those types of venues, and it's the kind of thing that we talk about all the time, where it's the smaller venues with the smaller bands are like so much more valuable, and you get so much more value out of that, seeing those live shows than the bigger ones. that it makes sense to me to sort of build it that way. And venues, it works the same thing for venues. You see it and you're like, I want to go to that venue. Like that place looks sweet to see a show at, and things like that. So that's where I think there's a value to it. But yeah, to your point, it's interesting to think about like what the back end looks like for something like Nugs and what they get out of. I mean, it must be decent because otherwise they'd stop doing it instead of growing it as much as they have. So,
well, yeah. I bet they get 40%. Like 30% goes to keeping the infrastructure open, and the other 30% goes to the artist. I bet it's
and Live Fish is a different beast too, because they have their own production, right? Like they have all of that set up already, and it's included in their thing.
About that, Brad did talk about why Live Fish was a separate entity from
Nugs, because that was already built out that way. So, bigger bands I think have a little bit more to that, but Goose is the same way. I mean, Goose has done it their way too, in that they have a traveling production crew with them to film every night.
Traveling crew.
Dogs, even when we talked to Dogs, and they said they have their video guys filming every night show. So even if it's not going up on it's on YouTube
at least.
Yeah, and they can always go back and watch
hopefully
it.
We're going to have footage of their most recent show sent to us, because we were talking to the festival that we live streamed the other day. So hopefully we're going to get Neighbors set, everybody's set. The band Reality Check Experiment, fun. They did Chocolate and Cheese all the way through.
Well, that's awesome.
It was huge.
I think the streaming thing though is a really interesting conversation, and one we'll definitely be talking a lot more about as we start getting into this a little bit more and learning the ins and outs of it and figuring out where the value is for not just the fans but the bands, and adding content around that. We've already talked about doing, we do the post shows. That's one of our big things is doing Fish after shows, and I think there's a big way to expand even on that for other bands, and getting into doing the intermissions if there's intermissions.
Well, we're gonna dip our toes, I guess, the last weekend of this month. I think the plan, right, is to dip our toes into Widespread and try to listen to the 3-show run the weekend before when Halloween happens.
Yep.
So we'll have to check that out. And up on YouTube today, if you want to pop over there. If you are, we did something with Pyro, the Planet Earth Rock and Roll Orchestra. Garcia played on 6 albums that came out of these loose sessions. Rolling Thunder's on there, if I can only remember my name. Couple Starship. So check that out. Wednesday we'll have something going on. We're not exactly sure how it's going to work, but Wednesday we'll be here. On Friday we'll be back doing this again for the members over here on Volume. You got anything else you want to throw out? We got Tommy Dorfman's at some point. We got like a week for that, right?
Yeah. Don't forget October 17th, the New Jersey Federal Courthouse. Go down and support him. So that'll be coming out probably
next week sometime.
Yeah, before that, we'll get that out. Hopefully maybe like Tuesday.
By next weekend.
So there's a little bit of time before, because when is the 17th? The 17th is not next Friday, but the following Friday. So
right.
Or not this Friday, but the following Friday. Right. Next Friday.
So if we can put it out next week, or even this weekend, if we could get it this weekend. But
I was going to say, maybe we can even get it out there by Friday or something, so we have a week of it out there and we can promo it and talk about it a lot, because it's really important. I'm really, So
yes, it's Moo Woolly. Yes, that is what we're talking about.
Moneyly important.
Moo Woolly, Widespread Panic, and Moo Woolly. That is our thing. All right. Thank you, Fractal, for jumping on. Just keep in mind that this is going to be 12 Eastern Mondays and Fridays. I think we're going to set it into stone, because that way T can have his whole day. Because he's out there.
I can get up early and do it. I know 9 o'clock's not early, but yes, it's nice. It's a nice time to do it. And we can kind of recap the weekend that was. Yeah. There was actually Austin City Limits was this weekend. I don't know if you caught any of that. Hulu streamed some of it. I know the Killers show was on last night. I tried to catch it, but I think I was off on the timing or whatever. I tried to stream some of it on Hulu and see. But another great, I love it when things are on Hulu or a more professional platform, that you've already subscribed to, and can just sort of like, oh, this is on, cool, I'll just put it on for a bit and not have to go. I know guys bitch about volume and stuff, but it's the same. I know exactly what you're saying. Not have to go in, sign in, find it, go for it. You're just like, oh, let me just go to my streamer. Boom, it's on. I can watch it on my TV. So that happened this weekend. If anybody was there, anybody checked it out, let me know what you thought. So,
yeah. Should we play the Wook Stars thing? We'll have to do that sometime.
Yeah, totally.
It's like 4.5 minutes. It's long.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it was. And then fucking Tim just cut it off before we got to the end of it. Remember, Chad was trying to sell the wig and the gavel from Wook Court.
Yes.
God help it. And
That's
Lama
right.
was alpaca. Because we had to have a name. All right, guys. Leave a comment. Oh, you can't leave a comment on volume, but I'll say this for later when it pops on YouTube tomorrow. Leave a comment if you're watching this and get your ass over to volume and follow us over there. Become a member for $3, all access, or get a free month. Use the code Moon Cabin.
Get a free month. We're 3 people away from hitting 150 over there. Like, we're really impressed. We've gotten so much love from you guys from coming over there. So get over there. Yeah, actually, if you go back, Fractal, we talked about Rush at the very beginning of the show. That was Kevin's first thing that we talked about was the Rush tour. So yes, we did cover that.
I expressed lots of love for one of my absolute favorite bands. So yes, go back to the beginning. It'll be live for everyone on volume as soon as it's over. So
yes,
we're out of here. Love you guys.
Have a great week, guys. Wednesday night. Cut me off. Wednesday night live. Have a great week. Take us out, Kev.
What's up, dog?
Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating.